I bet. Welcome back to yet another episode of Toxiris Discovers. Today we got 7 albums as always, 2 picked by myself, 5 suggested by the community. Before you even start watching, recommend some albums down below. As always, they're going to be reviewed in the next episode, hopefully dropping on Sunday. I know this one is dropping on Monday. Forgive me.
It's the gang, we done came on. The gang.
Anyway, we're starting off as always with the project I picked for myself. First one being Cormega, the Realness. Now, I don't know how many of you have seen that video, but I once made a video about Cormega and how his song Beautiful Mind is one of my favorite samples / one of my favorite beats of all time. I would now say it's one of my favorite songs overall of all time, but that's besides the point. That's how I got introduced to Cormega, and I listened to a couple of his EPs and a couple of his songs last year, but I never really listened to any of his early projects. Now I did. The Realness, released in 2001, is, well, a longer Cormega album. I mean, it's only 45 minutes long, but it's like a full project. And what do I think about it? I feel like, personally, the Nas disses on this album are kind of unnecessary, especially on the track with Prodigy. Like, I don't know. I mean, it was that time Nas was big. He was trying to get some clout. I know that him and Nas were cool back in the day. I just feel like there were some unnecessary shots there that weren't even hitting as hard as they could. Overall, the project has great production, although very piano heavy production. I feel like you could have switched it up a bit more, even though I like his piano beats. They're not bad. The lyrics are good, the bars are pretty good, but it's overall nothing really outstanding besides the production. Like you gonna catch a couple smart bars here and there, but besides that, it's nothing really mind-blowing. So overall, these two would probably be my favorite tracks from the whole track list.
Yeah, I seen it all. Coke rise and kingdoms fall. Prophets and sneaker bosses, riches hidden between. I'm contemplating, my soul is in a custody fight with God and Satan. The rap or crap, I go hard for paper, niggas ain't even as.
And I would overall rate the project a 7 out of 10. Solid, pretty good. You can give it a listen, but nothing that will knock you out of your chair. Then we get into the second project I picked for myself. This is the one that contributed to the title of this video. It's GoldLink. And after that, we didn't talk. This project is, I listened to this project because, first of all, I really like the song Palm Trees off of this project. And then I really like the song Late Night featuring Masego off of this project. So I was like, 2 songs, it's not that long of a project, might as well listen to it. And I did, and I think it's very, very good. It's the first time I'm listening to a GoldLink project. I mean, it's not like he has been the most relevant rapper over the recent years, but it was a good project, honestly. Like, production, really good. The bars, really good, and even the more melodic / singing parts are really good. I think my favorite song might be the one with Anderson .Paak, but yeah, these two were probably my favorites. I don't know.
Underneath the palm trees, you can leave your worries. I don't need nobody. And I know I'm never home, and it's hard just to trust with me.
I think overall it's hard to pick a favorite because it is a very short but very good track list, and I don't really have that much to say to it, but I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10. I think it's a very, very good project. If you haven't heard it yet, which is possible, I mean, it's not that popular, give it a listen. I think it's really good. Then we finally get into the suggestions by the community. First one being Big Scarr, Big Grim Reaper, The Return, suggested by Zhao. As it was said in the comment, I already gave my thoughts on the non-deluxe version to this album a couple of months ago. That being said, I do think the 13 tracks that are now added to the album are as, if not more interesting as the original. I wouldn't want to listen to them both combined, because like just to the sheer length of it. That being mentioned, the lyrics on this project are both horrible and entertaining. I mean, the line "black and white coupe, just like I'm riding a panda beer" sums up pretty well what I mean. The production is unfortunately just as bland and unoriginal as it always is on these Memphis rap type rap projects. The features are something that is once again saving this man's ass when his lines are like soap falling to the ground. Offset comes with a, for him, pretty mid, but for the album, pretty refreshing delivery and keeps you awake in case you fell asleep waiting for Big Scarr to switch up to an interesting delivery within his verses. Gucci Mane is pretty good as well, and the hooks, while being pretty standard and nothing really special, are one of the upsides to the project that contribute to its rating being positive. It's a solid project. I would overall give it a 6 out of 10. Just the deluxe, obviously. This is not including the old project. If you want to see the review to that, go to my channel and search for Big Grim Reaper or Big Scarr. You will find a review to it in one of the earlier episodes. 6 out of 10. Moving on, these two would probably be my favorite tracks off of the deluxe.
Whoa, 23 shot like a Michael Jordan. Chokeland the pet like a Randall and get to the break, give a fuck what you niggas doing. Like they gotta take on. Keep the beach crew, we can handle it, man. Big bad and booty, she glamorous. Buy her own Gucci Chanel when she pampering.
Then we get into the next project, which is Mac Miller Blue Slide Park, suggested by GGS. I mean, I recently reviewed Mac Miller's Kids mixtape. I gave it a pretty good rating, and I took a couple tracks to my playlist. This one, while sonically being pretty similar, is kind of different though. More than just happy and easy life vibes, I felt a bit of nostalgia being fused into the music that created a new energy, but one that I, even though I would consider myself a pretty nostalgic person, didn't like as much. Like, this album has way, and I'm talking way less standout tracks. I mean, these two would probably be my favorites.
Night, 9:30 flight, thinking to myself, where does all this go? No time to care. She wants diamonds, she wants gold. She's scared to let you get too close.
Overall, yeah, it doesn't have as many standout tracks. It works more as a conglomerate of vibey beats and verses. Still, after all this more or less negative talk about the album, I would overall say it's pretty good, just not as good as it could have been. I would overall rate it a 7 out of 10. Nothing really bad, but just knowing what Mac Miller has done in the past, it could have been better. Then we get into Tsumyoki, R.I.P., suggested by Akil Jason. I don't know. I'm telling y'all off the rip, this is the hard one. Simply because on one hand, this album is so easy to tear apart critically, but also has some honorable attempts at being different and personal. The first couple of tracks are all covering more sentimental topics, while also having a pretty emo / sad boy type sound. It's not very well executed, but parts of it do sound pretty good, and I can't knock the effort. Unfortunately, appreciating anything gets harder as the album progresses, switching to stereotypical SoundCloud hype rap that does neither sound like there was a lot of effort put into it, nor is it catchy or enjoyable in any way. That just makes it really hard to give this album a good rating, even though I would like to, because as I said, it looks like it comes from a good place, but it's just not that good. I would rate it a 4 out of 10 overall, because I can appreciate some of the tracks. I can appreciate, as I said, the effort put into some of these tracks, but it's just not that good. I'm sorry.
I said leave the lights on, I don't wanna fucking panic. Why didn't you fight on? I don't really. Maybe I'll fly away into a better place in the nighttime. Wake up to a better.
Then we get into the next album. That one being Black Ray, Crack Clouds Over Art's Kitchen, suggested by Kieran Cartwright. The second Black Ray project we had on the series, and the second Black Ray project I've ever heard. And the second time it was suggested by Kieran Cartwright. This project, I remember reviewing the other one, and just comparing it to that one, I feel like this one is more enjoyable, but less interesting, if that makes sense. Like, the other one had more intriguing elements to the sound of it, but this one just sounds better and partially more clean to me. And some of the hooks sound better on this one, if you can call them hooks. Some of the features, I really enjoyed some of the features on this project, although I had no idea who the fuck they were. But that's besides the point. I did enjoy their part on there. And yeah, I don't think there's that much to say to it. I mean, obviously there's again pretty interesting production, just not as interesting as it was on the other project. Maybe also because I am now more familiar with this type of production since I already heard the other project. But yeah, it's a pretty solid project. I would, once again, just like I gave the other one, a 7.5 out of 10, but for kind of different reasons than the other one. Just a side note, this motherfucker was hard as fuck to find. Like, I found it on DatPiff, but that was like uploaded in 2020 and the album is like from 2013. Spotify, nothing. Not SoundCloud, yes, but uploaded by somebody else. Like, huh? What happened to this project? Anyway, that's beside the point. 7.5 out of 10. Moving on to the last project we have today, which is K.A.A.N and them Jointz Mission Hillz, suggested by Filipao. Filipao. Okay. That's a good name. Anyway, it's been quite some time since I heard anything from K.A.A.N, but for the last time, but goddamn, I remember loving his fast flows combined with simple heavy production, mainly his fast rapping though. Coming from that position, I was more than surprised to hear catchy melodic hooks and steady but not particularly fast flows. I was shocked and impressed at the same time, but soon I started to concentrate on the flaws and problems this album has. I do think, although there are multiple bangers within the track list, that this album has a lack of consistency. One track gets me all hyped up and in a good mood, just for the next one to come in and take all of that away. That is the main and almost only problem this album has, but it is big enough for me to go far away from a perfect score. The production was on point, most flows as well, but the enjoyability and the level of obvious effort put into the tracks was just not consistent enough to me.
Think you should take a break, I'm about to activate, I got a lot to say right now. Beat it, I level the film, I'm a level now. Think I want a fat love for the night. All the shit look right, oh God on the.
That being said, I would rate the album 7.5 out of 10. That's it. That's Toxiris Discovers for this week. As always, suggest some albums in the comments. Let me know what you think about my thoughts. Let me know what you think about these projects I reviewed. And have a great one.
Remember back then, all them hoes ain't want me. Now I'm ballin', all them same hoes on me. Mama told me that this came with the money and the motherfucking fame. Even though I feel the same, I'm that nigga now. I'm that nigga now. I'm that nigga now. I'm that nigga now.